Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The DTC U0131 indicates a lost communication issue between the gauge control module and the electric power steering EPS unit. This diagnostic trouble code implies that the vehicle's gauge control module fails to receive or send information to the EPS unit effectively. The EPS unit aids in steering assistance, while the gauge control module manages instrument panel readings, including speed and fuel levels. The occurrence of this DTC suggests that you need to investigate potential wiring issues, fuse problems, or component malfunctions that could hinder communication. Notably, resolving communication errors between these components is crucial for restoring the accurate functioning of the steering system and ensuring dashboard readings effectively convey real-time data to the driver. The DTC U0131 signifies a communication failure between the gauge control module, also known as the instrument cluster, and the EPS unit responsible for steering assistance. The gauge control module typically is located behind the speedometer and houses various electronic signals related to vehicle metrics such as speed and fuel level. Conversely, the EPS unit is vital for providing enhanced steering control, especially at low speeds. A breakdown in communication between these two components can cause erroneous readings on the dashboard or a complete failure of the EPS system, potentially resulting in difficulty steering. It's crucial to verify the integrity of both components in terms of proper connection and functionality to ensure safety and drivability of the vehicle. The primary causes for DTC U0131 revolve around three potential issues. First, the gauge control module may be faulty, failing to communicate correctly due to internal errors or circuit malfunction. Second, the EPS unit could be defective, which may result from a hardware problem within the unit itself. Lastly, damaged wiring or connectors between the EPS and gauge control module could be the culprit, possibly stemming from wear, corrosion, or physical damage. Each of these components plays a pivotal role in communication through the vehicle's controller area network, CAN, and ensuring their functionality is vital to resolving the DTC. Diagnosing these issues involves follow-up checks on their operational status and continuity of electrical connections. When DTC U0131 is present, drivers may observe several key symptoms. Most notably, warning lights on the dashboard will illuminate, indicating a critical failure in the system. Additionally, there may be inaccurate readings displayed on the vehicle's gauges, such as speed and fuel levels. This can lead a driver to struggle with decision-making related to fuel and speed management. Furthermore, with the EPS unit having potential issues, there might be noticeable difficulties in steering, particularly at lower speeds where assistance is most critical. Recognizing these symptoms early may help prevent further failures and ensure that appropriate troubleshooting steps are taken promptly to restore vehicle functionality. The first step in troubleshooting DTC U0131 involves verifying the current state of the system. Start by clearing any stored diagnostic trouble codes, DTCs, using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, which is crucial for updating the vehicle's fault history. Next, turn the ignition switch to the lock position and then back to the on position. This action resets the vehicle's electronics and allows the modules to reinitialize. After this, it's essential to wait for a minimum of 6 seconds, allowing all systems to stabilize. Finally, check for any reoccurrence of DTCs using the HDS. If DTC U0131 is still indicated, this suggests an ongoing issue requiring further diagnosis. Conversely, if the DTC does not reappear, it may signify an intermittent failure or an isolated connectivity issue that needs further inspection. Step 2 involves checking the fuse associated with the communication line between the gauge control module and EPS unit. Specifically, fuse B24, rated at 7.5 amps, needs to be inspected. This fuse is located in the under-dash fuse and relay box, typically situated on the driver's side, near the steering column. If the fuse is found to be intact, you can proceed to the next step in the diagnosis. However, if it is blown, replacing it is essential. If the new fuse blows immediately after installation, this signals a short circuit somewhere in the wiring associated with the B24 fuse circuit. Identifying any shorts requires comprehensive tracing of wiring harnesses to locate the fault. In this third troubleshooting step, you will focus on the IG1 VSA ABS line to check for open wires. Start by turning the ignition switch to the lock position before disconnecting the EPS control unit connector A, which typically has an 11-pin configuration. After disconnection, turn the ignition back to the on position and measure the voltage across the designated test points. Test point 1 corresponds to pin number 9, gray, of the EPS control unit connector, while test point 2 is connected to body ground. If you do not measure battery voltage, this indicates that there's likely an open circuit or high resistance in the wiring. This step underscores the importance of ensuring that electrical paths are intact and functional, as they are critical for communication between modules. In the fourth step, you will conduct an open wire check focusing on the FCAN lines. Begin by turning the ignition switch to lock and unplugging the gauge control module's 32-pin connector. It's necessary to check for continuity between two specific test points across the FCAN communication lines. The test configuration will evaluate the continuity of the FCAN-H and FCAN-L lines. If continuity exists, indicating proper functionality, you should replace the gauge control module. However, if continuity tests negative, this suggests either an open connection or poor wiring between the EPS control unit and the gauge control module. Addressing any faults found in this step is critical, as these lines are essential for data transmission, affecting steering assistance and gauge readings. Once repairs have been made to resolve the issues associated with DTC U0131, it is paramount to conduct a final verification of the repairs. Start by confirming that all components linked to the issue are functioning correctly. This can involve reconnecting any removed modules and ensuring all electrical connections are secure. Next, it is beneficial to perform a test drive to evaluate whether the steering operates smoothly, with all gauges providing accurate readings. After the drive, check for any reappearance of DTCs using the HDS tool to confirm that the communication between the gauge control module and EPS is re-established. Verifying that everything operates as it should ensures the reliability and safety of the vehicle going forward. While the immediate concerns for DTC U0131 revolve around troubleshooting and repair, implementing preventive maintenance practices can greatly reduce the risk of future occurrences. Regularly inspecting the wiring harnesses, particularly those associated with critical systems like the EPS and gauge control module, is essential to catch any signs of wear or abrasion early. Additionally, checking the integrity of electrical connections on a periodic basis will reinforce the reliability of the electrical communication between modules. Ensure that fuses are monitored for any signs of overheating or damage. Regular maintenance forms a frontline defense, ensuring that issues related to communication, steering, and instrumentation are minimized, leading to enhanced vehicle safety and performance. In summary, DTC U0131 highlights a significant communication loss between the gauge control module and the EPS unit, and proper diagnosis is essential for vehicle functionality. Recognizing the roles of the gauge control module and EPS unit aids in understanding potential issues that may arise. Through well-defined troubleshooting steps, such as checking fuses, assessing wiring integrity, and conducting continuity tests, you can effectively diagnose and resolve the underlying issues causing the DTC. Preventive maintenance actions can further reduce the likelihood of recurring communication failures. Following these structured approaches ensures the driver enjoys a safe and operationally sound driving experience. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.